The dispute, oil revenue and Brunei contribution. Regarding the financial issue, Brunei wanted to control her own revenues from oil. It has been being agreed by the Malayan government that there should be special protection for the oil wealth and the reserves of Brunei. Dato Lawson emphasized that Brunei did not want other people to control her own revenue. At the same time, the Sultan discussed the financial issue with the Tunku personally. On the question of Brunei's contribution, the Sultan emphasized that it was up to Brunei to decide the amount and the terms of the contribution. The Sultan added that he agreed to give $40 million of Brunei's annual revenue, which totaled about $90 million, but the contribution should be known as an annual voluntary donation. For defense, the Sultan would make an additional outright contribution of $5 million only in the first year of Malaysia's formation. However, the Malayan government did not accept Brunei's offer of $40 million per annum and argued that $5 million for the first year was not enough to cover the cost of handling Brunei's foreign affairs, defense and internal security expenditure. On this issue, the British official at the Colonial Office argued that if Brunei did not join Malaysia, the Malayan government would get nothing. Therefore, it would be better if the Malayan government accepted the terms offered by Brunei, in order to get something. Furthermore, the federal government could decide for themselves how much they could spend on Brunei. The inclusion of Brunei would not materially affect federal defense expenditure. Tan Siew Sin, Malayan's Minister of Finance, produced figures which showed that the Federation government would be subsidizing Brunei to the extent of $11 million a year. Federal expenditure on services would be $29 million, on additional defense $20 million and on internal security $10 million, a total of $59 million, against which should be set Brunei's $40 million annual contribution to the Federation. The Sultan, for his part, argued that it would be impossible to estimate exactly the amount of expenditure incurred for the defense and internal security of Brunei. As Ghazali said, the Sultan said that the Tunku suggestions were quite unrealistic compared to what was claimed to have been already agreed to in the schedule to the proposed Malaysia agreement. The Sultan was generous enough to offer a handout of $40 million to meet the immediate problems that the creation of Malaysia might entail. Furthermore, the Tunku argued that if oil revenue was excluded, the taxable capacity of Brunei would be very small, and it was fair for the central government to share in any additional revenue that accrued in Brunei, because every year the revenue from oil would increase. So the Malayan government proposed that after the end of the 10-year period, the full federal tax arrangement should apply to Brunei. According to some sources, Tan Siew Sin played an important role in making Brunei refuse to join Malaysia. This was because in the meeting he proposed that after 10 years the federal government should control Brunei's oil revenue. Tunku Abdul Rahman regretted this suggestion.